Picture a flight from Airport A to Airport B. Most of you probably thought of a non-stop flight, but there are over 20,000 civil airports in the world. It is not practical, cost-effective, or even possible to connect them all with non-stop routes. This is why there are several options to travel from one airport to another. They may entail intermediary stops, plane changes, and flight number changes. Let's take a look at all the possibilities. Option number 1. Non-stop flight. As the term suggests, non-stop flights carry passengers from origin straight to destination without any stops in between. For instance, the Turkish airline flight TK-10 Los Angeles-Istanbul is a non-stop flight. The aircraft takes off in Los Angeles and lands only in Istanbul. Option number 2. Direct flight. Direct flights have one or more stops without plane changes and without flight number changes. Landings in intermediary airports are also referred to as hidden stops. They are necessary to either refuel the aircraft or to allow some passengers on or off the plane. A good example is the Ethiopian Airlines flight ET500 from Addis Ababa to Washington, D.C. It departs from Ethiopia's capital city, lands in Rome for an hour, then the same aircraft continues on to Washington, D.C. This is a direct flight with a hidden stop in Rome where passengers simply wait on the board of the plane. They don't leave the aircraft.
Option number 3. Change of gauge flight.
This is a flight with at least one intermediary stop. Passengers do change planes, but the flight number stays the same. The Delta flight DL478 Atlanta-Accra is a perfect illustration. Travelers boarding in Atlanta will have a stop in JFK, New York, where they will have to get off the aircraft and board another one. However, their tickets will show only one flight number, and that is DL478. Option number 4. Connecting flight. This is a very frequent type, and it entails at least one stop with a plane change and a flight number change. It is common for passengers to go through multiple connecting points as well. Let's say I want to travel from New York to Dar es Salaam. There are no direct or non-stop flights between these two cities. This leaves me with one last solution, a connecting flight. An option would be to fly to Europe first and then to Tanzania. Royal Dutch Airlines, also known as KLM, offers such a possibility through flights KL642, New York-Amsterdam, with KL571, Amsterdam-Dar es Salaam. As you can tell, there is a plane change and a flight number change in Netherlands. This is a connecting flight from New York to Dar es Salaam with the connection in Amsterdam. I can book this trip with KLM or Delta, and this means it is a code-share flight. Quite often, several carriers will enter into a code-share agreement, allowing them to sell tickets for the same flight under their own codes. If I bought the above-mentioned trip from Delta, my ticket would have a different set of flight numbers on it, DL9357 New York-Amsterdam and DL9349 Amsterdam-Dar es Salaam. Nonetheless, I would still fly on a KLM airplane with all the passengers who bought their tickets from Royal Dutch Airlines. In this scenario, KLM is the operating carrier because it provides the aircraft and the crew to serve the route. Delta is a marketing carrier, as it only sells tickets for this flight. This simple table will help you remember and distinguish all the flight types. Non-stop flights take passengers straight to their destination without any stops in between. Direct flights will land at least once before reaching the final destination, but travelers won't have to leave the plane.
Change of gauge flights will have a stop that requires a plane change, although passengers will only have one flight number on their tickets.
Connecting flights entail at least one stop with a plane change and a flight number change. Any flight offered by two or more airlines is called a code-share flight. One or more marketing carriers will only sell tickets for it, while the operating carrier also provides the crew and the aircraft for the flight. Now that you have a good understanding of the different flight types, you're ready to explore the trip types covered in the next video.